school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. SUNDAYSCHOO. So can you help me out again? Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. SUNDAYSCHOO. So can you help me out again? Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. SUNDAYSCHOO. So can you help me out again? Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. SUNDAYSCHOO. So can you help me out again? Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. SUNDAYSCHOO. So can you help me out again? Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to Sunday school. School on Sunday makes the world better on Monday. Get to
here in Chicago on this wonderful Saturday night. It is time for Saturday night Sunday school. And what an honor it is to join you for the 557th edition Saturday night, to join us for Saturday night Sunday school. And we give God all of the praise.
God bless and good evening to everyone. Good afternoon. It is 3 o'clock here in Chicago, Illinois, on this Saturday afternoon, which means it is time for us to discuss our International Sunday for those that are still utilizing the ISSL International Standard Commentary. The lesson can be found right there at the bottom for February the 22nd. 2025, ministering mightily. This is the last lesson for February. As you know, we march into our spring quarter, and we are looking forward to the Lord blessing us. We are grateful and honored that you would take our time on these Saturday afternoons to join us. Can you give me a thumbs up for the volume, if you will? I'm using some headphones just to see if this kind of makes things a little bit better. I'm using some earbuds, and hopefully that can help with the sound. Please like, share, comment. We're diving into Matthew chapter 25. We see all of these familiar names. Appreciate you from wherever you may be watching. There are many that may not be on for the actual live at the time, but they utilize the video. Thank you, Sister Sandra Richardson, Sister Janet Long. Thank you all for supporting. And you may be watching the replay, and that's just fine. That is just fine. On most of all of it, most Saturdays on all three of the streaming services that we do, the watching afterwards review, of course, is always more than what's live. Sometime on Saturday night, it could be on all of the platforms. It could be somewhere 3, 4, 5,000 that are watching. If we added them all up, that are watching live, but then the number ends up for reviews. It could be somewhere around 20,000. So we know everybody, like right now at 3 o'clock, may not be sitting in front of their TVs. I almost said VCRs. Lord have mercy. TVs, laptops, iPads, tablets, whatever you are utilizing. But you may be watching later on this morning or review. There are some that reach out and they'll say, well, Elder Payton, I'm teaching, so I don't watch. And I get it. If I know that I have to teach, then there's a different approach sometimes to preparation, because it'll be real easy. Just take whatever Richard Clark say and repeat it in your class. And so, yep, I almost said VCR. I want to have an authentic, organic teaching. So sometimes people won't watch it all, and there's nothing wrong. Or they'll watch afterwards and kind of see how their teaching aligned with whatever that presentation was. I normally would do that with the book. If I have to teach, I don't look at the book at all. I'll look at what the title and the specs got to give something, and then maybe afterwards, okay, not in the sense of this is what I did and it was great, but what did I do wrong and could have done better? We always stay in a state of evaluation, a state of not being a master teacher, but a master learner and a master. So you reevaluate in order to see what could I do better. And for that, we are grateful. Today, we're going to uh, Matthew chapter 25 and talking ministering mightily. the importance of ministry, the importance of purpose. Let's some key words. Will you help us? Even foreshadowing before you looked at the lesson, if you have not dived into the content yet, just look at the title, Ministering Mightily. Can we use some synonyms? Come on, get in the chat. Hey, Sister Beverly Ellis, my sister, Sister Francis, Teach Destiny 2. We love you always. What are some of the words we can use as a substitute for ministering mightily? Is one that I know we all saying. I'm going to give you time for the transfer to take place where I can see it. There is a delay. If you're not using this word, then we got to reevaluate what it means to minister. What's the word? Come on. It ought to be at the heart of our vocabulary. Absolutely. Anointed is it. Looking for something else, I guess. Ministering. And I'm just going to give it, somebody's putting it in the chat, I'm sure. Serving, the attitude of service. This kind of goes with our lesson our young people talked about this morning. There's its resources. That's our lesson even for tonight. But ministering mightily has to do with serving, having an attitude and a mindset that, yep, you may not get what you deserve. Come on, let's be honest. Servitude, Sister Ty, I should have sent you this link for you to get on. You funny with your anyway. Brother George McPherson, we honor you. We got the All Stars out on this Saturday. Okay, all right. Let me be professional. Um, Serving. You. This is a good. This is good. This is really good. This is timely because we often need a refresher on why reevaluate what our purpose is, our calling, doing the work. I'm loving these comments. Please keep them coming. You know, this 3 o'clock class. I almost want to post a link and let y'all just get on, but I know y'all will probably get me in trouble. But that's how interactive we like for this class to be. Sister Talia often teaches. I did say it correctly. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'll be calling you, or you just let me know what Saturdays in March you are available. I want you all to really hear this young lady. She is anointed. She's gifted. Loves God. Will cry at the drop of a hat. Loves worship music. She's really old, but she act like she's about 50. But she's a wonderful teacher, magnificent young lady. If you follow us at 3 o'clock, you have heard her teach. Yep, Sister Quinn, this does go with today's lesson. What is your motive? We cannot minister for personal gain. Humility. Sister Beverly Ellis in Ohio. Yep, this is all about this is what we are called to do. Are serving. Yep, Sister Love says, Sister Jones, TJ is absolute. I said it perfectly. Talia, I did it right. That she is truly anointed. And serving means you make room else. Uh-oh. Take your cake off the pastor's table and let somebody else pastor and had enough of your cake. You know, you get an attitude if your chicken ain't on the pastor's table during the anniversary. And you just are sanctified and but let your seat not be where it ought to be. Let somebody use your hanger at the church. Serving others. Ministry is so selfless. Ministry, you're gonna be on the short end of the stick if you're truly gonna minister. Can we deal with the word minister? You're gonna have to give of your food. Ministry, giving of your food when you hungry yourself. Come on. Ministry, serving your brothers, David, them same brothers that hate that Joseph served, ministering, sitting on the throne and being able to not kill your brothers when you had the power to pay them back for all the things that they did and said. You want to minister? Can you minister and keep your mouth closed when you want to fight, when you want to argue, when you want to defend, when you want to say something and the Lord say, "I'll fight those." You You do my will, and then I'll fight your battles. Ministering mightily. How do you minister mightily? Is it through the numbers? How many people? How many views you have? Let me tell you something. Saturday Night Sunday School. This is year number 14, 722, 23, 24 editions. We've been told, been sent stuff. You all have reached such and such people. I thank God, Sister Quinn. One of the things I really thank God for is because this is true as sure as I'm sitting here. When you hear the accolades, because you understand the purpose, when you understand that what God wants you to do is greater than the applause, I thank God that it goes in one ear and out the other. It really does. It is not in the sense of you want to pat yourself on the back. It almost makes you uncomfortable when you minister with the right motive. Let me see if y'all agree. You may disagree. When you minister with the right motive, it almost makes you feel uncomfortable when people applaud or people celebrate or people remind you of what it is that God, that's the word. When it reminds you of what God has done or what God is doing, uncomfortable. It's not so that you can, it shouldn't be so easy. I struggle to understand how it's so easy to take everything upon yourself or to be, yep, I can't thrive without it. It's like gasoline for the car, hearing you call my name. How? Why? What does that give? How far can you drive on that? How far can you go with getting the attention of First Lady Sister Francis? How and I'm sorry for these first names, y'all just forgive me. But how far can you go? I think it should, Nancy Gill. I think it should. Jesus said when they call him Rabbi, Father, wise. You calling me that? Ain't one but God. Ain't only one is who he is. But we look forward to it. We'll kill you if you don't give it to us. We will try to hurt. There are some people, and I try not to mess with this. This lesson does go with our lesson, and I try not to mess with people. But since this is the older group, there are some people that are just anointed to try to destroy what it is that God is doing. And one of the ways that we allow is our pride. It's the same thing that happened to the enemy. I'll try and get to the lesson so it will at least sound like it does. All right, Matthew 25. And it should, First Lady, it should make us uncomfortable. If you are comfortable and you look forward to getting your name called, you got to examine what your motive is. What is the role of motive and ministry? What's the role of motive with ministry? Does motive have anything to do with ministry, or does it have everything to do with ministry? Is God going to grade your results or your motive? I went to a revival. I preached, and 10 people got. Is he going to grade the 10 people that got saved and say that you did good? Or will he grade what is your motive for doing it? What is your reasoning for doing it? And there's so many reasons, so many different warnings. It's so much information on why we got to be careful to become our motive. And I think what stands out more than anything else is when Jesus said, if the pat on the back is what you wanted, you got your reward. You got your reward. So what if God got this huge blessing for you for your cake that you put on the pastor's table for the anniversary? And you stayed up all night preparing that cake. You got your vanilla, your eggs, your flour. Help me if I missed something. Is baking soda in the cake? You got your caramel. German chocolate. Yep, Sister Chris, what you got all of that? You stayed up all night long. You watched the cake through the oven because you knew that it was going on the pastor's table. You watched it rise. You in there. You buttered the pan correctly. You bought coconut and shaved it yourself. You so wonderful. You didn't even buy coconut that was already in the package. You stripped the coconut and you cut it up yourself. German chocolate. You melted it. You went to Germany and got the German chocolate that you wanted to use because this is my pastor. When you got there, they did not put that German chocolate cake. You bought a special. You took your grandmama's glass cake holder and you had it all together. This was all your intentions, and they took it and instead of putting it on the pastor's table, you saw that they were giving your out to the homeless that knew the church was giving food. It's all almost sound like I'm being specific, don't it? And they gave your cake to those that were hungry and just came to the church, and you wanted it to go that you made that for the pastor, and it's okay that that was your motive. That's fine, but your reaction. What's your reaction when things don't work out? Thank you, Jesus. What was it? Was it from the heart? Who is it for? Who benefited? Whose cake was it? Was it your cake or was whose treasure? Whose gift are you using? Whose talent is it that you have? Come on with the comments. I'm loving it. Two versus your humility. Is there a relationship, Sister McKinney, between humility and your attitude? Does your attitude affect your humility or vice versa? We're gonna stay right there. Let's talk. Sister McKinley did it. Carol McKinney did it. Y'all want to fuss? Let's fuss at her. Which one affects the other? Does it affect your attitude, or is humility a part of your attitude? Is one embedded in the other, or is your attitude affecting your humility? I think we are all going to agree. I'm trying to give you some time to respond. This is one of the things that Jesus is going to ask. Who else could have had an attitude? Who deserves Sister McKinney to have an attitude? Jesus, who left heaven to come down here and deal with us, he could have easily had an attitude. But look at his humility. Look at how he came and how he exercised himself, how he lowered, how he acquiesced, how he became subservient. First Lady McMullen says that your attitude is the problem. We must realize, Sister Crabtree, 1 Corinthians 3, 6, and 7, it is not about us. Our humility affects both our attitude and our altitude. Our altitude. How low you are will determine how high you go. Now, take that. How low you are. You want to go high, get low. That's come on. You want to go high, get low. You want to fly higher, stay on your knees. You want to go to higher heights, then how much can your face stay on the ground? How much can you push other people? Humility. I'm gonna give you a few more seconds, a few more minutes, a few. Please answer this one. What was the English word do we use that comes from the same word Latin for humility? All right, that's how you gonna just know that right off. Humiliation. Humiliation and humility go hand in hand. Could that be the part of the problem? We don't want to be humiliated. It was humiliated to get slapped and have a crown of thorns planted on your head and have a sword stuck in your side and be nailed to the cross. That was humiliating to be judged by the same demons that you're about to die for, standing before Pilate, standing before even the chief priests. I almost said the church, standing before. the Sanhedrin court, being evaluated and for those that you're about to get, you actually giving your life for, to go high, to be hung up. You got to get low. Before David made it to the palace, there was a cave that he had to go through. Before Joseph made it to the palace, there was that he had to go to, and he had to minister. David had to minister in the cave. Joseph had to minister while he was in prison. Daniel had to minister while he was in the lion's den. The three Hebrew boys. Yep, we got to go low to go high. The world, Sister Vicky, the world does say that your attitude determines your altitude, but your attitude, but your humbleness determines your altitude in God. How much will you allow God to turn your life inside? How much will your attitude, how much will your attitude, how much will you understand? And when your attitude is right, when your attitude is about serving, then it's easy. It's easy to deal with the offense because it ain't about my cake, it ain't about my gift, it ain't about my teaching. It's about my attitude that I can bless somebody else. And who better to bless than somebody that can't help you back, ministering mightily? Is it help somebody that got the resources to do back for you? You may say yes, and that's fine. hmm True ministry, helping somebody don't even know your name, don't even know what church you go to, ain't got no way to even find you and pay you back. We talking about a mighty ministry today. Are there different levels of ministry? Absolutely. We talking about a mighty ministry today, a ministry that says I'm in the airport and I'm gonna bless this person. God will give you the discernment to see people that are struggling. God will give you that understanding and that discernment. The Holy Ghost will help you to understand, recognize, and see who to hear. God bless you, ma'am, and turn around and walk away. Blessing somebody that can't pay you back, that can't do anything, that can't give you a promotion, that can't call your name. Blessing someone that true ministry, we talking ministering mightily, where give the credit to somebody else. You can give the honor to somebody else, that you can give the blessing to somebody else that you okay with as all right. The point is to defeat Goliath. It's not for me to become the king. David did not kill Goliath being the king. He killed Goliath because he was anointed to kill him. He did not kill him with a purpose. He did not kill him with intentions. When you minister, you don't minister, y'all gonna disagree. You don't minister with intention. And if you do, the intention is to glorify God. It's certainly not to shine. And, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna teach on Saturday, and so I can be the next. They'll recognize, so they'll know. Uh. Mm-mm. And I will say, no, I won't say that. I won't say that. Yep, you got to be careful. Read the lesson, please. Matthew 25, and the verses are 31 through 40, 31 through 46. And will come in his glory, and all the angels with him. Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Matthew 25:31 through 46, 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right, talking to the sheep. This is the conversation with the sheep. Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared from you from the foundation of the world. For when I was hungry, you gave me meat. I was thirsty. When I was hungry, you gave me meat. You take that cake to somebody that's hungry, not somebody that got a wife to. For I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. Wait a minute. I ain't never done that for Jesus. How can you feed Jesus? If Jesus ain't never walked in, I fixed him something to eat. I never saw that Jesus was thirsty. Can we even do this scripture? Come on, help me out in the chat. This says, "For when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. Naked, I ain't never gave Jesus no clothes. What you mean when I saw you naked? You visited me. How can Jesus be sick? I'm confused. I need y'all help. Come on, straighten us. What is this saying? Matthew 25. This is what the king is saying to them on the right hand. This is verse 34. For when I was hungry, you gave me meat. Now, whoever has cooked for God before, come on in the chat and tell us how did you did. How? Uh-huh. Well, I just don't. When I was sick, you visited me. When I was in prison, I never known him to be locked up. When I was naked, you clothed me. Uh-huh. When I was sick, you visited me. Verse 37. Then the righteous shall answer him, saying, when saw hunger? When did we see you hungry, Lord, and we fed you? When did we see you thirsty and you gave us something to drink? Ooh, that takes us to the cross when he said, I'm thirsty. He didn't want no water. He was water. He said on the cross, I thirst. He couldn't have been talking about water. How you know, Elder Payton? Another scripture. When he met the woman at the well, he said, I am the living water. How can water be thirsty? So he couldn't have been talking about water. He was water. How can water say I'm thirsty? That don't even make sense. He wasn't talking about water. I thirst. He said, the righteous rather, this verse 37. When saw we thee was hunger and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took you in? When did we do it? We didn't do that for you. Or naked and we clothed you. When did we do that? Or saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? The king, not the church, the king shall answer and say, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on far from me. What separated the right from the left in chapter 25? The righteous were the ones that were called, the ones that fed, gave water, was thirsty when they were thirsty. A stranger took them in. But the goats on the right, what separated their obligation towards ministry? What separated what made me go to the left? Is it the left, the ones that he said depart from me, on the ones on the left that got left? When did this happen? Hmm. Yeah, he said unto them on the left hand. So if God gonna separate, Lord, please put me on the right side. Oh, there you go. There's a title. Put how to stay on the right side. There is the title of today's lesson. You know we always changing the title. How to stay on the right. And I ain't talking about conservative. God knows I ain't talking politics. How to on the right side of God, on the right hand side of God, when you are ministering, when you are serving the least. Let's finish reading. I'm sorry. I hear y'all thinking. Verse 39. Or when saw we sick or in prison and came unto thee? Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say to you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall, verse 41, then shall he say unto them on the left, depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angel. For I was hungry and you didn't give me no meat. I was thirsty and you didn't give me anything to drink. I was a stranger and you took me not in. No, it wasn't me, but it was the ones that I love. I almost said love the most, but y'all ain't gonna agree with that. These are the ones that I love, the ones you drove past, the ones you skipped over, the ones that wasn't important to you, the ones that could not pay you back, the ones that didn't have the resources, the ones that couldn't lead to your promotion, the ones that could not feed your ego. What did you do unto them? Are we good for treating each other right? We got a motive and sometime an intention. Yep, we do pick and choose, Sister Carolyn. We pick and choose, and we call it ministry when God winks at it. He doesn't. We pick and choose, and we'll pat ourselves on the back for it, but you really got to ask yourself, what is the Lord you want? My grandmother was singing. What do you want the Lord to say? What do you want the Lord to say? What do you want your pastor to say? That ain't what she sung. What do you want the church to say? That's not what she said. What do you want your department to say? Mm-mm. What do you want your family to say? Nope. The Lord to say. Anybody old enough to know what that song said? Well done, thy good and faithful servant. How do we call anything ministry that God has not sanctioned? How do we can't you can't decide what ministry is. It has to be what it is. In Matthew 25, we are told what ministry is. We are told. I'm ministering because I'm sitting teaching this lesson. Y'all not going to agree with this either. I do not consider this to be ministry. This is serving. There are better teachers in the chat than the one that's teaching. So come on. This not minister can minister to a person that's watching, that's trying to learn God. Absolutely. I still consider it to be serving. And there's a difference between, oh Lord, serving is a part of ministry, but it is a difference. And the difference has to be tied to the audience, to the recipient that's getting it. Sister Remise Quinn is one of my good friends in Memphis, Tennessee. When I consider anything I do for her church, Liberty, pastored by Bishop William Wright, an amazing man of God. I'm going there to serve. This is just my viewpoint. This just not I'm not this here. It's just little Michael Payton. Well, who ain't nobody. Okay? That's serving. Ministry would be taking and going and standing in front of a group of eighth graders who are coming from broken homes and teaching them the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, that the long side of a right is always opposite of the hypotenuse, that lines that never touch are called parallel. Intersecting lines will intersect and they will form, if they form a 90-degree angle, then they are called perpendicular, teaching them that slope is rise over run, or the quadratic formula, helping them and how to do inverse. People that can't do the ministry, the audience can kind of what we call serving. How much serving happens between the how much ministry happens between the four walls of the church? I'm only trying to challenge. I'm not trying to change your point of view. I'm only just challenging. Should you call what you do in the church ministry? I sang and I tore up the church today. I ministered to the people. I understand the cultural context of the word, but by definition, is that serving or ministry? Ministry to me, this is only my ministry should be determined and should be targeted towards those that can't do. There are people that can teach better than you, and you teaching that Sunday school class. Come on. I told you there are better people in the chat that can teach this lesson better than I can. Sister Cynthia Eastern, I saw her name on here. Sister Vicky is a lawyer. Come on. We're not crazy. That's the difference between serving and ministry. And that's just my crazy viewpoint. I think that if we would see the difference, that if we would attach the right spirit and the right mindset towards ministry, we will see that some of the things we call ministry, you just serve it. I know because I'm thinking about a lady in Jackson, Mississippi who kept the church clean, kept it clean, whether it was Sunday after church. That was her ministry that God gave her to do. So in that context, I get it. Tuesday, Saturdays, she was always at the church, making sure that it was clean. That was her. That was her ministry. But what she was serving, ministry, biblically, ministry, according to Matthew 25. A lot of this is gonna happen outside of the church. Let me just stick to the text then. If you go to what did the ones on the right do? They were on the right because when somebody was hungry, they gave them some meat. That's gonna happen typically unless you having a and on the outside, unless you having it specifically for the community. I think we'll agree that most of these happen outside the church. Uh, I was a stranger and you took me in. You gave us naked. They didn't come to church naked. Okay, that means you not between the four walls of the church. Somebody was sick. They not at church. You somewhere else. Ministry. I know this is off. I just think serving happens more so inside of the church. Ministry that happens out in the world. Come on, ministry. I'm ministering every time I teach Sunday school to the elders class. That's serving. That's taking a gift. That's taking a responsibility, an assignment, and I'm using it. Ministry, take that teaching gift, take it to somebody that don't understand. It's easy to teach y'all in the chat because y'all know better than I do. It's easy. It's easy to get Sister Gina. It's easy to get into the understanding of the word. This is more service. Let me sum it up this way. How will God interpret it? Forget what I said. Forget that was my opinion. How will God classify what you do? Will he call it reasonable service or will he call it ministry? This chapter gives us some evidence or some almost like, Lord, I did what you say here. So how could I be wrong? If I'm wrong in there, if I'm wrong to understand that it's about feeding the hungry, giving water to the thirsty, taking in strangers, and the church can do all of this, and we should. I'm not taking away from that. Clothing those that don't have, we have clothing drives. We should do that. But what's our motive? What's our drive? What are we doing? What and why are we doing it? Uh-huh. And some of the things that we call ministry, God calls reasonable service. Mm, yep. He gave you a gift. He gave you a gift and an anointing and a treasure down on the inside of you. Besides the gift that he gave is ministry, Or is it reasonable service? Reasonable service. This is the least that you can do because of what I did for you. That's service. Ministry. Ministry means you ain't got to pay me back. You ain't got to call my name. You don't have to pat me on. Go tell nobody. We not going live. I'm not finna go live and show you the video of me handing you this food. Now, let me add another caveat right there because there are some of us that are using some of this platform for us to show corporations or show sponsors laptop right now. So I'm appealing to a few folks and a few people, corporate kind of sponsorship stuff. Here's why I need equipment because here's what I'm doing. So, yep, in that sense, you got to show what it is in order to get that resource. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you going, you want to show them the food that you want them to go live and tell. Now, how did you feel when I gave you this bag? Come on. That's looking for credit, Sister Jones. Uh-huh. I gave you a turkey and you was homeless and you didn't even got nowhere to cook it. Do we even put thought towards what it is that we call ministry? Ministry. And the churches that are going, the Sunday schools that are going to grow, yep, the ministries that are going to expand are those that get a biblical understanding of what ministry really is. What is ministry? What is your motive? What is your motive? It's connected with motive, but it's also more connected with your responsibility. Ministry is grounded in what is your motive for doing it? What is why? And it has to be because I want to please God. So in Matthew 25, he is given one of his last as he's about to get ready to return to heaven, and he is given, here's how you gonna see me again. Y'all gonna miss me when I'm gone. But here's how you gonna see me again. When I do the division, I'm gonna leave the sheep and the goats together. I don't want to talk too much about that because I'll get in trouble, because you got to search. He said, let him do the separation. Another scripture in the New Testament talks about the tares and the wheat, let them go together. He never said to consecrate the tares or appoint them. He just said grow together. I think we need to understand that because now, it's one thing for us to grow together, but you have to wrestle with the tares all the time. That's kind of frustrating. When it's frustrating, how many gonna agree? It's frustrating when your passion is about people and you got to serve with people whose passion is position. When their passion is, what am I gonna get out of this, or what am I gonna be, gonna grow, and how I will cut you down. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna leave it alone. Uh-huh. I was a stranger and you took me in. Yeah. That's when you did it. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we and we didn't minister? These verses are not in our lesson. So the ones on the left said, when did I feed you? The ones on the right said, when did I feed you? Because we're gonna stay on the right side. When did I feed you? When you did it to the least one. The left one saying, I didn't see you, so how did I do it? How could I have done it? Verse, he says, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least, you did it not to me. So it's one thing for you to do it to somebody because you're doing it also to him. But when you don't do it, when you don't feed, when you don't clothe, when you don't visit, when you don't minister, you're really doing it, you're really not doing it to the Lord. So not only are you not feeding that person or ministering to that, you're not ministering to that person, You're not telling the Lord thank you for what it is that He did. That's my interpretation. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, the righteous into life eternal. But the righteous. Yeah. And here we have a whole soliloquy of what it means to be righteous, Pastor Elder Mark Thomas. You thought it was just your long skirt made you righteous. Your no makeup. What else? I get in trouble for this all the time, but it's okay. No shooting marbles, because marvel not. That made you righteous. According to Jesus in this text, what made you righteous was how did you feed the sick? How did you feed the hungry? How did you give water to the thirsty? Gave drink to the thirsty? How did you how did you clothe the naked? All of these things that we associate with righteousness, my title don't make me righteous. It don't. All these Saturdays. But and if my heart, my mind's not right, I'm going to hell. All these Saturdays. This is 14 years, at least a Saturday night Sunday school. But there's still an expectation that God is righteous. And if not, other people can be blessed. That's not the crazy part, but that's the irony. Thank you. That is the spiritual irony that God will use you in your unrighteous motive to bless somebody else, and they get the right because they had a heart to receive. They had a heart wrong. Your motive for doing it can be wrong, but God will bless them because that's why it's okay. It's okay. You can serve and you can minister. You can do even with others that may not have it, that may they'll show you that their motive ain't about him, that it's about them. But God will still bless it anyway. So according to the gifts and the talents that you got, that was also in this chapter where he talked about those that have 5 talents. The one with 5 traded them. He's going to walk us down through Matthew 25 until we get to the part. Now, here's what you do. That third one's going to be judged as I'm skimming through Matthew 25. Cast servant into outer darkness because he was lazy and he was wicked. He was cast out. There is a destination. The parables that Jesus will use has to do with being good stewards. There's another separation. Good minister is how you steward, how do you utilize the resources that God gave? Are you ministering for people or are you ministering for self, for position, for glory? Why did you take that position? Because you wanted it to be the springboard to something else? You thought that, well, I really don't want to. This will lead me to be something greater. This will lead me to a higher calling or a higher position. But nope. Jesus is using these parables to get us to understand and to see that he has the authority to divide us in 2 categories. We are either sheep or goat. You are either on the right or on the left. How do we stay on the right? Nope, not Democrat or Republican, not conservative or liberal. Neither one of them really matters. What matters most is, am I a sheep or am I a goat? Those are the ones that are the most important. Is right or am I on his left? We must be ready. We must be ready. We must be prepared. And we must have an opportunity, take advantage of the opportunities. I'm not repeating that, Elder Thomas. We have to have the opportunities, if opportunity, create one. Create an opportunity to minister to somebody else. And if your ministry, I want to go back to that because I think I left a little bit of doubt or subjugation. If you minister inside of the church, If that's the ultimate place of your ministry, when the church pandemic, what happened to your gift? If you were gifted to shine, if you were gifted to minister or serve only in the church, when the church was closed, what was you doing? And is God going to ask us, what did we do with the talent that He gave us? If restricted to the four walls of the church, yeah, what were you doing when the church was closed? Who did you met? If your gift was cooking, did you cook for somebody else? If your gift is teaching, if your ministry is serving, what did you do? Did you just say, "Well, since the church is closed, I didn't have no opportunity"? Goodness, the greatest opportunity for ministry is in chaos. This is the greatest time with Nebuchadnezzar and them running Washington D.C. This is the greatest time for Sunday school and Bible study. What were you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing with the gifts? Just got a few questions as we close. If they took your, what would happen to your assignment? What would happen to your purpose? If they took your position, if they snatched your position, what would happen to your gift and to your assignment? Is your title tied to your gift to where if they take the title, you don't have no gift no more? You don't have no room. You don't have opportunity to do anymore. What will happen if they don't call your name? You may not say nothing, but do you get a little feeling in your heart and in your chest? Do you whisper to yourself, "I'm not doing this no more"? If they don't glorify you, are you a saboteur? God, let me hurry up. It's 3:53. Are you a saboteur? Are you one that don't call my name? I'm gonna mess this up. Are you a choir member that if they don't ask you to sing or lead the song, you sing your part off on purpose so that it won't sound right? Or do you sing with the same energy? Do you sing in the section that you do when you are the soloist? God bless the day. Do you sing with the when you the soloist? You tell that day, "Ooh, Lord have mercy." Do you sing with the same passion, rigor when you are in the section that you do with the soloist as you do as a soloist? God see all of this. He sees what I sees. What are we doing with the gifts? What are we doing with the attitudes that we have? Do you allow other people to teach? Are you the only teacher for your Sunday school class? Do you get mad if the pastor asks somebody else to teach? I'm just asking questions. Y'all get out. If you don't like it, why you watching? Do you do you can you sit in the back and give somebody else your seat up front? Can you, if it's your turn to speak, but you see God is using somebody else, can you allow them, if God is using them, if it's your turn, if it is it okay if the spirit is moving and you next on program to introduce the speaker, you just put the speaker up and bypass your part? Can you bypass your part for something else? This, with all of our Holy Ghost, can you serve and minister to somebody else? Are you rude and nasty towards other people in their ministry? And I shouldn't say this. Somebody told me the other Sunday that I won't say it. I won't just. Can you have this attitude and this mindset that I can clean up the church? It doesn't matter. You don't have to put my name on the vice on the program. He the vice president. So what? Do you have to be on every flyer? Does your name have to be on there? Do you send it back and say, "Well, no, I don't like this because my earrings with this flyer on this"? Is it that serious? I'm saying that I'm gonna send this to my graphic designer because she keep telling me that I need to take more pictures. For what? Can I use the same picture? So who's the star of all of this? I get it. I get the marketing and the branding. It's 3:55. I got 5 more minutes. Can you acquiesce to? Can you work behind the scenes Can you give? Can Do we have to know what your contribution was? Are you okay not having that name, not being out there in like ministering mightily? Jesus hid himself. I come to do my father's business. This ain't about me. Say the things that he told me to say. Do we have that same attitude and that same mindset? How much trouble will we get in if we did not give honor to somebody in the meeting? If we did not get, if you just got up and you the speaker and you just told to speak, what if you didn't take 20 minutes calling and you just went to the text that said, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever. But if we went straight to the text and did not call and just minister, if you took a portion of your income tax return and devoted it to blessing and doing something for somebody else that can't give it back, can you go to the hospital and pray for people that you don't know, to the store and ask God to give you what family do I spend this money on? Who can I help and who can I bless? Can you go through the drive through and bless that car that's behind? I'm going to pay for the two meals. Y'all pray for me. Okay. I'm going to pay for my car and the car that's behind me. Just let them know that there don't no wait for them to get their food, then wave and drive past, ain't gonna do no acknowledgments. Can you minister and serve without being the star and being seen? I feel pretty good right now. I know I only got 1 minute, but I'm gonna keep on going. Can you be the one to clean up and straighten up the chairs and do the job that seems to be the okay? I'm gonna end with this story just real quick. It was one Mother's Day that I had to one Mother's Day I decided that I would get to church and I would let the mothers relax. Maybe I shouldn't tell that story. And it's not for self glorification. It's just to show you how you got to have this ministry attitude regardless. And to show you, if nothing else, I told the young people this morning, Sister Crabtree, if nothing else is true in the Bible, you reap what you sow is a fact. Got to church for the youth Sunday school, told our evangelist, who is our Sunday school, junior Sunday school superintendent, told her to sit down. I'm going to cook breakfast in the kitchen, cook grits, sausage, eggs, biscuits. Then went and taught that Sunday school class, taught those young people, and that's the kids help, cleaned up the kitchen, did that. Yep. Got to church in about 8:30, prayers at 9, Sunday school's at 10. Took that time while prayer was going on, cooked. 10 o'clock, taught the Sunday school class. Yep. Took my jacket, suit coat jacket off, unbuttoned my shirt, had a t-shirt on, went downstairs to the Sunday school, I'm sorry, to youth church. My wife was over youth church at the time. Told her, I'm going to, you can relax. I'll work with the young people today. Is Mother's Day. Y'all relax. Sat on the floor, was sitting on the floor teaching teenagers universalism. And somebody came downstairs, one of the choir members came in, just got to church now, Late, I got kids, they ain't got none. They stay right down the street. Oh, I shouldn't say it that. And looked at me sitting on the floor and said, "You ain't nothing." That's what they said. And I laughed. I laughed because I was about to respond. And what was in my mind to say was not what came out of my mouth. Because in my mind, I was finna talk about uh no husband, the womb closed, it was gonna be bad. What came out of my mouth was, "You right." Cause the Lord said, I said, "Now Lord, that ain't what I was finna say." The Lord said, "No, but it's true. I made you to be you. I didn't make you to be like nobody else." So she didn't say nothing wrong. You ain't like your daddy. I made you to be like you. Can you minister? I will admit, flesh was finna much. It don't take much. You know, my wit and my mouth are horrible. I can quickly come up with something. You ain't gonna never have no kids with that. Uh, but the Lord said, "No, because it is true. God wants us to be who He made us to be. And who God made you to be is what He needs to minister. You to be what you are to go and minister to somebody else." So she was right. You ain't. And thank God. And I appreciated even the message, even if it wasn't for the right reason. Saints of God, ministering mightily means humbling ourselves. It means serving. It means being quiet. It means doing what God told you to do. Low roll, being acquiescing, looking like you're on the short side of the stick, but then God has a way. God has a way of paying back that cannot be duplicated. All that we do on Saturdays and all of what you could say, "I wish the Lord." Yep. But what the Lord doing with my children and their schooling and the ways that doors He's opening, that right there is compensation. So to where somebody will say, "You do this," or "You should have did that," or "Here's how you should be blessed." When you fight for that, you telling the Lord, "I don't need what you got." And trust me, whatever God got for you, you need it. And you would rather have what He got than anybody else. We thank you for joining us on today. Join us tonight. Bishop Chad Carlton is closing out our 8 weeks of being with our Episcopal leaders. Carlton is an amazing, amazing instructor, and you are going to be greatly blessed. Please let me close. I really need to push this a little bit more, and I don't. We have an entire podcast online community that is taking place. Watch this video. It's about 2 minutes, and you may want to be a part of this. God bless you. That's the overlay. That's not the video, and I don't even have the video loaded up. Yes, I do. There it
Hello,
is.
everyone. I am Michael Payton, and I'll be your facilitator for the Autopsy Podcast experience. We are certainly honored that you have decided to join us for this intense examination of biblical principles and theological study. This kingdom-based, non-denominational setting is designed to take the word to all parts of the world. This community will be for believers passionate about the Bible and ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We will study vibrantly topics in scriptures, attitudes and emotions, structures and systems, and much more. You will see we will offer you customized lessons that can be used for your large Bible study or small groups. Workshop material designed for teachers and lovers of the word. As we have traveled around the world for the last 18 years, we have gathered best and worst practices of Bible study, and we are ready to share them with you. You will have a part of exclusive Zoom calls with celebrity teachers and networking opportunities with an amazing community of Bible students. We will give you access to videos for middle school math, teaching for our young people. Our young people will also have their own Bible study and a funny video section called Sunday School Shenanigans with the Youth. You will be able to purchase merchandise to support this vision and our assignment to spread the word. Feel free to invite others to join only if they dare. Make sure that they dress down for the autopsy because they may get bloody. There has been a murder. Someone doesn't want us to know and to operate in the truth. We have been subject to false teaching, to doctrine not aligned to the word. There has been a murder even in the church. There may be a suspect in our group. Get ready for the Autopsy Podcast experience.